Let's go to South Africa, where married life got off to an unexpected start for a pair of newlyweds when police showed up during the service. They had received a tip-off that the wedding in KwaZulu-Natal was happening at the weekend despite a nationwide ban on all public gatherings because of coronavirus. Now, all 50 wedding guests, including the pastor who conducted the ceremony and the newlyweds themselves, were promptly arrested and taken to a police station outside Richards Bay. Duduzile Ramela is a freelance journalist in South Africa who has been joining us every now and then here on the show. She joins us today live from South Africa. Hello, Duduzile. It's good to have you this afternoon, and hopefully our connection is smoother today. So take us through this rather dramatic development of a wedding. I mean, people just don't know how to respect rules, it seems.
Sure, and one really that we are not getting right in terms of communication. This couple has really set tongues wagging and for the wrong reason. As you rightly mentioned, and as you can see on the visuals, the bride being ushered into a van wedding day. They did not listen to the rule and adhere to the rule. And so that's happening itself out as we speak. So we'll find out in a day what I think happened. Couple of the pastor. So the second pastor, it was actually to be arrested for marrying people. So it's going to be having some work on their hands.
Well, I'm not so lucky again today because the line is not as smooth. And if I heard you right, you talk about how they were ushered directly into a police van, the van that the police brought and took them away. They didn't even get the chance to for any further explanation at all, which of course perhaps is the right thing to do since we're trying to reduce the spread of COVID-19. We'll try and raise you back perhaps on the line and get some more on that. Duduzile is joining us from South Africa, but of course there seems to be a lot of pressure on the bandwidth at the moment. Everybody elsewhere seems to be hooked onto the internet, and so we'll try and raise her on the telephone because we need to get more of the details. So those pictures are what happened occurred in South Africa, a wedding of about 50 guests. You've seen the soldiers there who went to disperse that group there. We'll get more of that detail right now. Hello, Duduzile, are you there?
Can you hear me?
It is, I do hear you. So you were telling us again about this dramatic turn of events at this wedding for the couples. Please tell us again.
Right. This, I guess as humans, we always take chances, but these are not the times to really be taking chances. This couple being arrested, together with all the guests that were attending the wedding, including the pastor, and this being the second pastor to be arrested in KwaZulu-Natal for marrying the couple. Now, the couple faces charges of contravening the regulations of the Disaster Management Act of South Africa, and that matter playing itself out right now in the courts. And from the last information that we had, they were still being interviewed, and it's just a matter of us getting more information as to what is still happening with the couple.
So will they be the first examples of those who flouted the lockdown rules?
I think the law enforcement officers, our police minister today, Begitsele, coming out, he was also at another township today where they actually had a lockdown party when the lockdown was announced. So people clearly violating the rules. And he's come out guns blazing to say that we will not be tolerating anybody who's going to be breaking the violations. If you need to, as a police officer, push people back into their homes. And this is what our police minister was saying, that we need to protect people from themselves and we need to protect each other. And so if you're not going to be adhering to the rules, the police you'll be met with the full wrath of the law, basically. I think another big issue in South Africa that we're facing is fake news and fake information. There was a gentleman who appeared in court today because he went on video and it was shared widely where he said that, testing kits have coronavirus. And so this really not doing well for what the president had said in terms of 10,000 field workers being deployed to run testing programs, to go door to door, and to tell people about coronavirus, to test people, to increase the testing capacity. So such utterances really not doing well for us, but then law enforcement officers not taking any chances or prisoners here.
And certainly we shouldn't be taking any chances, not in these times. Let's take a look at an update on the numbers. Have the numbers changed over the past few days?
Oh, and how? So we are now reporting 1,749 deaths. Today we had confirmation of another death, so the death toll sitting at 13. It was a gentleman who was in hospital and who had stage 4 prostate cancer. This is according to our health minister. So the total number of people who have passed away in South Africa tragically is 13. One death is one death too many, but we've got 1,749 positive cases. I think an issue in South Africa at the moment is capacity in terms of testing. A lot of testing has been done in private hospitals, but the issue of testing is also coming up quite frequently, which is why we're seeing now the deployment of these health workers to be going door to door, and these volunteers to be talking to people about coronavirus and trying to increase testing capacity so that we know where we are. A few days ago, the health minister cautioning that even though we're not seeing a rapid rise in the number of infections, this does not by any stretch of the imagination mean that we're out of the woods yet. If anything, we need to take this more seriously now more than ever.
And certainly this is the very biggest uncertainty, moment of uncertainty for the entire world, and so nobody can say anything definite at this point. But the last time we spoke to you, you gave us an update of how the police there are enforcing the lockdown. Over here in Ghana, it's been one of the biggest things because we started our lockdown a number of days back, and we've had issues, a few excesses here and there as well, with how enforcement officials somehow get involved with abuses here and there. How is it going in South Africa?
Sure. I mean, in the beginning of the lockdown, it was a bit of an unusual situation, right? So there was a bit of that was used. Two schools of thought on that. Some saying that, well, we do need enforcement, so we need the police to play their part and to make people understand the severity of this. And some people saying brutality should not be a thing. People should not be dying because police are trying to clamp down and help people with regards to the coronavirus. But at the moment, I mean, I think we've sort of found a happy equilibrium, if you will. I mean, on major highways, we're seeing police closing down and conducting roadblocks, asking people for their permits. Where are you going? Do you have a permit to actually be out on the streets? Because we're on day 12 of our lockdown. Okay. So where the police is concerned, right now the situation being quiet. However, there have been some concessions that were made, right? So in the beginning, the lockdown regulations would tell you vendors, informal traders are not supposed to be out on the streets, but they've since now relaxed those regulations slightly to say you will need a permit in order for you to be selling on the streets again, but you will not be selling fast foods. You'll be selling vegetables and fruits. And a lot of vendors today are standing outside the offices of officials trying to get their permits, and that has been quite a situation that hasn't been managed properly, because these are people who keep our economy going. I mean, we rely on small businesses, and this also highlighting just how much small businesses need to be taken care of.
So finally, Ndidi, I'm coming to you. How are people coping in lockdown? This is obviously a very different situation from anything that the world has experienced. How are people, what sort of stories are coming up? What do people tell journalists like you?
I think that this is new for all of us. Some people are quite happy in terms of, well, this is the moment that I've always needed to sort of look within, to introspect, and to take a break and to breathe, while some people really don't know what to do with themselves. I think we are lucky in a sense, that you get out of the house for a few hours. But you can imagine for people who don't have families, for people who are alone, so mental health issues coming out quite strongly, people not knowing what to do with themselves. And then you find people who, there's a gentleman who is busy training for a marathon in his own backyard and just keeps on running and is doing kilometers and kilometers of running in his own backyard. So it's been such a mixed bag in terms of reaction. I think, you know, in the main, people are really, really struggling. Every day is different. But South Africans keeping their heads up. We're a bunch that knows how to make a joke out of anything. Not to say that this is a joke, please. I'm not saying that. But I think that, you know, people take into social media, posting their videos of them doing something, you know, and trying to keep themselves busy, whether it's by singing or playing around in the yard, and sharing all sorts of crazy and quirky things that they're doing to cope with the lockdown.
Well, I think the best thing that ever happened to mankind, especially in these times, is the ability to create humor, the ability to create some fun. Otherwise, we'll all be burdened to death. Duduzile, thank you. It's always an exciting moment to speak to you about the situation in South Africa. We look forward to good news the next time we speak.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Duduzile Ramela is a freelance journalist in South Africa. They're joining us with how they're enforcing their lockdown and how the numbers are going up. But the very dramatic situation is that a wedding was disrupted by police. A wedding of about 50 guests. The wedded couple, the pastor, everybody, they were all arrested.